Let me know if I'm live and if my microphone is on. Thank you very much for waiting. I think I am live. I see things popping up that would suggest so. It looks like we're live. We're live. You there? I'm here. You there? You here? If you are, thank you for waiting. Yes? Yes. Hey, Jimmy. Yes, we are. We're here. 56 minutes after. 4 minutes until bing, 7 o'clock here. Whatever time it is where you are, that'll be the time there then, won't it? So we're back. We're here. We're live. Fantastic news. Thank you very, very much for waiting. I really appreciate it. Microphone's on. We have the bigger screen at the minute. We've got the ticker up there, and it tells us that the price of GME is $216.50. It is great to see you. If you've not yet got your bum comfortable in your seat, feel free to take a few minutes to do that. And if you're waiting on a noise to let you know, as is tradition, that Tradespotting has finally sat his ass on his chair, then this noise is Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen apes. Apes, lady apes, gentlemen apes. The stream's current bitrate is lower than ideal, so I apologize in advance if you experience any buffering. I also thank you if you have hit the like button. Button. Thank you very much. Let me know. Pardon me, coughing on you there. Let me know if you heard that. Ha! No, but seriously, let me know if there's anything you'd like me to talk about, and I'll happily do so. Thank you very much. By Mama Jama. Daniel Assange. And hey, it's beach time here. I'm tuning in with the boys. Who said that? And why is that thing in my way so that I can't read it? Thank you very much. Ape Z became a member. That was 18 hours ago, but thank you. Thank you. So let me know. What do you want to talk about? Not muted. Great. There's a familiar face. Hello, Mr. James 007. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you here. Big buckets. Tim, get out again. You and your new friends, lol. Who are these new friends? Any friends of yours? Katie Babes, the new lighting makes you look so ruddy. You in good health, Tradespotting? Whoa, Katie Babes, that's such a nice message to read from you. And to begin the stream, thank you very much. That is delightful. I really appreciate that. Cheers. Nice one. So on that note, charts. Here's the charts. Hopefully this lighting is more to your liking, Katie Babes. Technical analysis then. The technical analysis from a temperamental, entitled, arrogant technical analyst called Jamie. Tradespotting, love the new angle. Can we hear a little bit about the beasties that run the world? Don't talk about them. We're going to get through the wall at 460 and change on AMC. That's a good question, isn't it? I've got a brokerage account with 80% of my shares and my Roth IRA with remaining 20% both on Fidelity. Going to try and max out the Roth for myself with any future shares. Sounds sensible, Eric. I've heard people talking about the GME. Is it a good stock? Well, I don't know. Let's give it like a good assessment here. Weekly time frame. Let's hit the auto. We're on GME at the minute here. You can see there's various levels of support and resistance drawn out in and around the region with price action. That itself is a continent away from where it's been traditionally. So you'd see here this is a huge uptrend. That's a massive move. Parabolic, new highs, blue sky breakout once you get above that again. As it was when you went above your previous all-time high. Consolidating up here at resistance, that's very bullish, and I would expect this to go on, whatever it is. Let's look down here at our indicators that we've got on. These are 3 incredibly important indicators that do a very good job of defining trend, momentum, volatility. 3 of the core tenets that I use in my trading strategy, which is heavily based along the philosophy that Rocky Outcrop added to the greater body of which is technical analysis. I suppose you'd call me an outcroptician. I'm part of his trading group, really. That's what you would say brought me to YouTube and informs a lot of my decisions. And so I would say, yes, I'm an outcroptician, and in that I use 3 indicators, 2 of which are very important to any outcroptician. The Rocky Outcrop DMI and the Rocky Outcrop RSI, both simple additions to anybody's trading strategy. If you don't use them, I suggest you do. They're free at www.gumroad.com/Rocky Outcrop. This is the DMI. This purple line, this is your DI minus. This blue line, this is your DI plus. This line, which is currently white but was previously orange and hitherto white. Previously it was yellow, and then you see white, and then orange, and then white, and then you see they get the picture. And talking about pictures, overall here what you have is this ADX represents the strength of either of these 2 trends, the DI positive being the uptrend and the DI negative being the downtrend. That downtrend can be going up, which would suggest that that downtrend is increasing in the extremities of which it reaches on price action, or not, would present divergence if it wasn't. And the same can be said of the DI positive when you're talking about the uptrend. It represents both its extent within the current trend and its momentum, partly based on its slope. And you can see here you have a negative slope on each plus a negative slope on the ADX, which would say that on this time frame, the weekly, we're perhaps in a period of flux. That period of flux, let's work backwards chronologically, would come from perhaps a pause in what you could describe as 2 trends, one beforehand and one subsequently. And so during that inflection point between those 2 trends, you're likely to see a period of flux. That would be a likely cause of these characteristics and behaviors, wouldn't you say? Makes sense, right? So there you go, right? You're measuring that and you're saying, well, in the last number of weeks, since the 22nd of February, the ADX itself, let's call it actually the 15th of March, has been in a downward trend. So that dominant trend, that hitherto dominant trend, this is the DI positive, is weakening. And then you would look down and you'd say, well, okay, that's true. You can see that it's dramatically down there. You know, you can tell that. And if you go back to price action, well, not so bad, actually. We're still actually doing quite well on price action. But though it's true to say that we have put in lower highs on this weekly and, you know, not lower lows, though. Here, obviously, you have put in lower lows, but not back here, but then the part where we were talking about. And so if price action does turn around here, perhaps there will be some momentum flip that we'll see along with that trend change. And those momentum flips and strength of trends generally come in when you see your ADX above 38. And as you can see, and as we talked about, the ADX at the very top of these three suggests that whatever trend will do, it will be in ascendancy. It will be very, very strong. And previously that was downtrend. Though that downtrend, as represented by the DI negative, shows you that it didn't get very far. It didn't get lower than it had done in its previous period of ascendancy. And at the minute, it's doing absolutely not very much, whereas we had a dramatic change in our positive trend. So this is what's leading our thoughts, is this, which has itself the most significance, let's say, for what the same information that we're getting from price action that we already talked about. And so here you go. You're looking at this to recover above 38, the ADX itself to get a positive slope. If it goes back above the bullish control zone again, does anything like higher high than it previously has done, then price action will probably go absolutely crazy on this thing. As you can see, that's been a habit of doing that. Increasing highs on the top side, increasing strength of trend as represented by the ADX during that. This is like winding up for very good health. And there are times where you would have thought potentially looking at this that something bad might have been going on. Like, for example, February 18 to perhaps around August, September 2019. At that point, a lot of people would have made life-changingly bad decisions. Had they had rocky outcrops indicator, though, they would have thought, wow, this is one of the best decisions I'll ever see in my life. And as you can see, boom, 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 boom. Eat my ass. So this looks great, this indicator says. It's speaking to with regard to helping us identify the trend that we previously may have perceived to be on price action. We have confirmation of it here on an indicator which is excellent at confirming that trend. And we also have a understanding of some perhaps confirmatory variables that may go along with a very strong and robust technical understanding of what that price action is doing at the time. So we're getting a lot of information here, especially for a free YouTube channel. It's kind of crazy, to be honest. So there's that on the weekly. Let's look at it on other indicators, and we can see that our RSI here, Rocky Outcrops RSI, it's recovered, accumulated at the center line, right, which is what it did previously on our drop down to the high $30. Called that, by the way. Nobody else did. I did. I called the drop and the buy before either had happened. Nobody else did. Nobody else gets call of the year. I've got it. Everybody else can get to fuck, right? So, and if anybody tries to give it to anybody else, I'll fucking never shut up about that shite, right? Regardless of whether I win it or not. If it exists, I do. I've already won it. Price action here came down to the center line on the RSI and our low subsequent to our high at 497, thereabouts. Our body closed in the low 300s. RSI, that drop came down and accumulated at the center line, which it is now doing again, having put in a touch of divergence there. And then having tested that area well and truly, it recovered and then recovered above its own moving average, which represents an increasing strength of trend. And we can see that as time goes on, that trend gets stronger and stronger, and that trend is simply an uptrend, which hopefully continues in its own previous behavior. If it does so, we'll see it touch at least the lower side of this bullish control zone. That'll be 1, 2, 3 touches up there. 3 touches. And before, when it tried to do that sort of thing, rarely gets up there and gets 3 touches, but here's 1, 2. At those times it was really high pushing its own trend. but we don't have a characteristic as strong as that on the RSI on a weekly time frame. So you can say that this price action, as we defined, having been up at resistance and accumulating in that zone, we've at that's really, 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 really strong. And during that price action, we have seen what is perhaps the strongest symbol or strongest manifestation on our indicators of accumulation, along with historically really strong characteristics, such as it just simply refuses to go below the center line on the weekly, and it's repeatedly smacking off the top of the bullish control zone. That zone, as defined by its name, is very bullish, right? And it won't go out with spitting distance of it. And Mike Connolly, what do you know about changelings? Changelings? Wait, what? Thoughts on $40 calls for Beam expiring on 17th of September, 40% short interest at Beam. I'll have a look at Beam in Estella. Paul Dooley, just had a Tuesday pint or two of Guinness. Nice work, Paul. Jabbering with a buddy about stocks. My insight and why is that not fitting on the screen? And my confidence is due to you, Tradespotting. Thank you. Thank you very much, Paul. That's nice. Nice message. Cheers. And it sounds like you've had a nice Tuesday. Calla, thank you as always. Appreciate you both. I'll catch Rocky in the morning. Awesome, Calla. Thank you very much. Big donation there. Cheers. Parlor Dog. I am a diamond candidate, but can we look at PFE when you get a chance? Yes, PFE and Beam will do. PFE and Beam. There it is in my mind for me to forget it. Nice one. So I'd done the technical analysis on the weekly on the DMI. I had essentially covered the RSI. What we would like to see is it break into this bullish control zone at the same time as prices breaking above previous resistance. 1, 2, 3 touches of that area. If that comes at a weekly opening close above those zones, when you've already done all of these positive stages beforehand and fueled your jets down here, this is what we were talking about this. We were talking about this here, and around, high 137, that area. That was, we said, fueling your jets. All of this stuff is on YouTube. Everybody can go back and check it. And we did. We filled them good and ready. And now we're wheeling the rocket out to the launch pad, and we'll see how things go. And when we get up and around these areas, we'll do a weather check, obviously, because, we've put all this hard work in. We're not too worried about the x-axis. It's about getting our perpendicular orientation correct, and that is much more important than the date of launch, as any rocket scientist will tell you. The Pickle Guy saying he thinks GME will sell at the money shares again. What do you think? Tradespotting. What do I think? I think I'd like to see... Well, it's akin to my argument with nuclear weapons. People say to me things like, Jamie, Scotland hosts the largest collection of nuclear weapons on this side of the Atlantic Ocean and is best placed strategically for hosting them. Also has the best engineers and the most reliable logistical considerations, taking everything into account. It's amazing for it. And so what do you think about getting more of these huge, massive fuck off bombs? And it's the same argument that I make with regards to investing, right? And what I'd say to GME if they decided they were going to do a share issue, I'd say it's the same answer. You sure you want more of those nuclear bombs? And I understand how effective they are and that they're really good at winning an argument. But can you please get better use out of the ones you've already got before you ask me for any more? Because I know the characteristics of a responsible C-suite. And it isn't that you come asking me for money all of the time. It's more that you demonstrate your effectiveness. And if that's through a transition, I see things going very well. I don't think they need to ask for more money at this stage. Should it be that comes, that point in time, then sure, like any responsible stakeholder, I would take a vested interest in the success and future of GME, and would then listen to any argument with response to what resources they might need to exploit their potential to my best benefit. And I'd have that conversation. But it would obviously come after they demonstrated how good they are at spending every dollar they've already got, of which they have a considerable amount. So I don't expect them to be tapping on my door anytime soon. Now, if they ever did, I'd love to speak to them, and I'd talk about that exact thing, the transition, and how, as a shareholder, you might want to manage your own expectations while at the same time understand the true extent of the objectives at GameStop. I'd love to have that conversation with anybody who knows more about it than me, but unfortunately, there's few and far between. So that's what I'd say to somebody who asked me that question. Where else was I? What was I getting there? That was it, I think. Okay. Right, so what did any of that look like in the background there? Maybe that's a good clip if you wanted to make a clip of Tradespotting's response to further at the money, at the market, whatever you call them, right? And if I ever call them at the money again, I'm going to stop correcting myself because it's perfectly good for me. Endgame was near engine and it demonic killed it. Well, I mean, maybe it did, maybe it didn't, right? We can put these different narratives on it, but you will remember back if you were watching along closely at the time that I pointed out all of these things were possible and said, and we're at $370. Look, if we go to $150, I'll buy a lot more of it, and it potentially is going there. Yeah, I will probably buy it should we drop to around 220, 222, which I then did around there, $5 either side of it a few times. And then I did also then buy it 190 and say that it might go down to 137, and it went there, and I did buy some more of it down at 151 and down at 137 again. 138, whatever it was, 40 something, I don't know, but a lot of it in the end, more than I expected to. But does that mean that technical analysis doesn't work? Well, quite to the contrary. I think it means that it works perfectly well, especially if you use it for the sort of things I was doing, which was how to get the best GME at the time. And I think people following along will agree. Why am I talking about that? Why am I having that conversation? Do you have a playlist to share? I certainly do, Pontus. I really like the music earlier on the stream, and earlier streams for that matter. Thank you very much. Thank you. No, I have playlists, yeah, and I will share them when it's time to do the squeeze and whatnot, and when all of that stuff's well and good, in which case that's why it's very important that you follow me on Twitter, which is @_Tradespotting, where then you'll get notifications when the squeeze list is live. The squeeze playlist is live. If you want to give it a squeeze while you're listening along, then cool, excellent. It'll be playing probably during the live stream that I do. Perhaps, who knows? Maybe I don't want to play it. I don't know. I need music that I can play without getting busted all the time, which takes up so much of my time fixing that. Anyway, that's the way it is. Still want the thing to be entertaining, so I do it anyway for you guys, whatever it takes to keep things ticking over. What doing, Wells Fargo? Fargo Wells. New RRP record hit today. Delining. Funny how everyone cares about reverse repo levels now, whereas like before they didn't. Nah. Yet nobody currently cares about, despite how many times I tell them that they'll look into like the credit default swaps and like that ratio and those important things, such as they were in 2008, and then the current iteration of them in other parts of the world, such as equity default swaps. Nah. Like, nobody really cares because they're all driven by, well, I don't know. The fuck, like, why do people who know nothing focus so specifically on these particular things? And if you're going to do it, why does the argument, like, or the debate about them not move on past, like, casual understanding so you could get sitting on the toilet and that? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Carissa, we love ya, Jamie, looking like a young Damon Albarn today. Oh, well, he's frickin' ace. Boys who like girls, who like girls, who like boys, who like boys, who like girls. Fuck, I'm going to put on another tune now in a minute. No, I definitely care about the swaps. Yeah, Chips definitely cares. Tradespotting, can you talk about the default swaps? I can, eh? I've done many times too. Hell yeah, I'll be in Ray's streams. Frickin' brilliant. It's the best place to be when he's on Cory Bing Bong. Otherwise, I'd miss you all damn too much. How's it going, everybody else? Can we do a swap discussion sometime? Ha, well, what you got to offer me, huh? Ha, yee. Funny that, innit? Something, maybe not. Probably not funny. Probably not. Yeah, probably not funny actually. Nobody pisses me off like myself when I'm not being funny. It's fucked up, innit? God. Anyway, there you go. Isn't that interesting? Isn't it? No, so we only managed to get to the weekly on GME. Jeez, you guys must be like, come on, tell me something I don't know. It's 1937, 33. Where'd you get those extra minutes at? Who knows? Let's drop down to the 3-day timeline. Literally no real decisions are made on the 3 days. It's unusual in that it's like more than, say, the 15 minutes. Why is it not better? Why is it not significantly better? In some respects it is, but also like in terms of making decisions, it's not. People will use it though, and I have seen it recently. Of people drawing ass shit on there and being like, right, I'm doing this, and which allows right, charlatans to ignore wicks, right? Because they're like, hey, that's a wick, right? And you're like, it's a wick because you just put it on the 3-day timeline. But like in certain instances, it's actually like a weekly close, and you're ignoring it, calling it a wick because on the 3 day, it's like catch yourself on. You know what I mean? Like, I know you understand like certain things, but you know the extent of your own ignorance is of course hidden to you. And often people will send me like what is quite good technical analysis and ask me my opinion on it. And my opinion is like, yeah, sure, I can see instantly how it could be better. And it'll cost that person 6 or 7 years to learn it. And yeah, and it also like then I realize the value of my contribution to shit, and I'm like, the fuck is going on, eh? Like people out here fucking, the fuck. Anyway, what's going on is like we're contributing what is exceptional quality to the efforts of GME to destroy the bastards that run the world, which is essentially what they're all doing. You know, Ryan Cohen didn't buy it by accident, right? It didn't fucking fall into his pocket either. He just spent money on the thing. Anyway, we're on the 3-day timeline, and I'm going to stop ridiculing people. I'm going to go, not that reference to anybody that I just mentioned. I was talking about the people who try to go with bearish patterns, and they're like, hey, look what's happening on the 3-day time frame. And they're like, so I ignore Wixie. It's like, yeah, and you also ignore all the other aspects of reality that like go counter to your cognitive dissonance. That's the nature of you, mate. And so you can't have the conversation with them either, so you just fucking ignore them, right? And then today, right, here we go, when you're like, well, okay, less likely to have those inherent errors that we mentioned. Plus, hey, 2 days, 1 day, what are the differences? At this point, differences become interesting. Differences between 2 days and 1 days. And now I'm doing like some sort of ridiculously in-depth class on this stuff. Why am I doing all of this for free? Right? I'll just give fucking... Right, this is actually what's happening. Right, I'm just to shut up. I'll do it. Yeah, great, actually, right? You have this formation here. It looks like a bullish accumulation pattern. It's a wedge. Prices broke out of it. Measured move is actually up here at the 1618. That comes in at $250. The bearish thesis is that prices have reached a high. They failed to break through this previous resistance at that level in at around $222. And as such, this is a lower high, and the resonance of this price action is then followed by a lower low, and that's the thesis from the bears. Their position will be proved wrong if they're entering with that particular attitude at the minute. If we get an open and close above 226 on daily time frame, that responses to every possible bearish thesis that you could take upon entering at the moment. That they'll be proved wrong at daily open and close above $226. Call it 226.76, right? Call it that, because fuck it, right? And then, yeah. So there you go, right? So you can fanny about on the 2-day time frame and daily time frame and talk about all you want, but I'll have beaten you in technical analysis on the weekly already, and then I'll have beaten you on the 3-day where you live, and then I'll have beaten you on the 2-day because I've just done it, and then on the daily time frame, which I've already done, basically saying in terms of like when you yourself, mate, are fucked, and we, the good guys, are like charging through the next line of defense. They would say, look at that fucking. That's all I talked about coming in with a 200 period moving average. It's fucking amazing. That's smashing through the 50, and that's also amazing. What you really like to see, obviously, is this above the 0.886, right? You need it above the 0.886, and like I say, that's in at around 215.15. Now, I didn't say that, but I'm saying open and closing the ability above 226.5 is also defeating the horizontal support and resistance, and you know, you're getting the benefit of somebody who knows how to do things properly. So here you go. That's interesting. And notice, as I now here am on this time frame, I haven't touched on the MACD yet. But then there's reasons for it that wasn't really necessary when we were defining momentum so clearly on the DMI. Here we are on the daily. Let's look at all three indicators, shall we? You broke into the bullish control zone and you haven't dropped out of it. And that on the larger time frames was us dropping down to the center line here and accumulating. At this point, you're still miles above your own exponential moving average. The strength of trend at this stage, since you're low in and around, you know, midpoint of August or so, was like confluent with actually the low, really the start of August, and that is what is your double bottom, and that is what constitutes like the pause between two trends, or as you can see here, the breakout and retest of this Bilkowski pattern, and potentially like the third, fourth or fifth wave, depending on the other disciplines that you might consider to be technical analysis, that tell you where price action is likely to go. And so the extensions on all of those moves are around those areas that we talked about, and you can see them there. And then further to there, they're the 1618 on Fibonacci sequence that I talked about earlier. It's 218, and horizontal levels above it, as I mentioned, 226.5, and then when you get above that, you're looking at further extensions, 2414 and the 2618, and top level of that sort of Fibonacci is around $291, and that really, like, you know, at that point, it's like I don't know, I could retire or something, probably, if whatever, probably. I love that, If I didn't have probably, it probably wouldn't be here, right? So, yeah, awesome. Oh, we're talking about frickin' being here and how good it is here, and there's still massive room for improvement. Unfortunately, some aspects of it are completely out of reach, and the biggest thing that this stream could do with would be a way for the people's messages and alerts to come up, increasing the culture of donations, right? That would be positive in a way that doesn't mean I ask for them, but instead increases the value to the people who do it. And one way would be that I notice all of them, that it gets past the problem with it all being like a digital interface, and instead something more analog and in essence more authentic, which is what all of us are here, I think, at Doomslayers. So something that was more tactile, was less digital, was less reliant on those aspects of me controlling all digital things here, because I'm not like the most proficient at it, certainly not yet anyway. And also something that was expensive. Unfortunately, it's too fucking expensive, but it's a Vesta board, and that's what, like, maybe if I get super minted, that I'd get for the stream would be a Vesta board. And it's like would really suit Tradespotting, eh? And if you know what they are, you'd be like, yeah, that's the shit. And it is the shit. So that's what I'm thinking in my dreams. Why am I talking about my dreams? Where hopes and dreams meet ends and memes. I said that, and some fucker's going to pretend they said it later on, because they'll have a bigger audience, people will believe them, and they'll fucking hate that. Fuck. Right. So, why am I speculating on it like that? I could just say it more often, and other things. Like, anyway, I'm reading a book at the minute. It's awesome. How to Be a Public Author. It's an amazing book. I'll tell you more about it another time. So, that's the name of the book, How to Be a Public Author. At least I think it is. I should have only read the title once, so it could actually be wrong on that front. Could I give a fuck? Not really. I'll clarify later. Tradespotting, that sounds like a great idea. What was it, Apple? I can't remember. This is the problem. I can't remember what I said at the start of my sentences. Never mind, number of sentences ago. What the fuck am I even doing right now? Right, so I was going to touch on these indicators. I remember that much. Look, loads of donations coming in. Jeepers, creepers. Look, here you go. That's how you do it, Jimmy. When I say loads. 420 from Juro. I love that. Loop plus fate bought my way. Cheers, Jamie. Thanks. No problem. Space Monkey 999. Daniel Assange, I'll literally pay any amount of money via donation for a GME full-sized Wafu pillow. What's a Wafu pillow? What is a Wafu pillow? Once Rocky and I were invited to this, a number of times, right? Rocky and I have been invited to this thing, right? Where is it? It's here, isn't it? Right, a number of times Rocky and I have been invited to speak at entrepreneurial events, right, by like various different organisations in Scotland and Britain, with regard to startups, right? How to start up, like something we've been running at the time, mentoring sort of things, any of this sort of shit. And it's not shit, it's good and it's interesting, it's fun, it's something to do with your time when you're like not working for a bank. All of a sudden, it's a good place to put your time doing those things, helping other people. It's good fun too. Anyway, so we've been at a series of these events, and one of them we're at this one with this really smart lady who had was selling that pillow, the pillow that like picks up your heartbeat and then like sends it to another pillow somewhere else, and they got your heartbeat and you got their one and whatnot. Adding loads of different features to it, and she did really well. Is that what a Wafu pillow is? I bet it isn't, and I've gone off on a massive egotistical distraction. Anyway, though, we've been at loads of those things. Another one of them that was really funny was fuck it, I'll tell you some story some other time, because it is really funny, so I'll save it for something funny that happens, or related, or when we get a big number of viewers or something, which is all going to happen in and around when Squeeze, because it just, no matter how many people subscribe, which is going up all the freaking time, for some reason the actual people who tune in, it's like you think they can afford to miss what's going on. It's like, what the freaking hell is that all about, by the way? Anyway, what are we going to do here? Jackson Hole. Oh, sends. I'm starting to forget things. I hope that people can remind me all the ones I'm supposed to be looking at that people actually paid for. Sarah Ristanio. Answer the question, Jimmy. 30 cows in a field, 28 chickens. How many didn't? Okay, I'll answer the question. I'll answer it. Any chance to have a setup on live? I'd love to hear you two discuss swap cycles, etc. Not sure what your opinion about him is, though, so I apologise if it's a stupid question. Not got an opinion on him, not seen him, don't know who he is. I just noticed that in a number of really cutting, amazing tweets I've put out there, people have mentioned this guy's name, and that's, I don't know who he is, other than that. But people have mentioned two things. One, that he talks a lot about cycles, and my opinion of cycles, and that is it's people try to get your attention because it doesn't mean nothing, don't mean nothing. And if it don't mean nothing, what's the fucking point, right? I've got game, so I've got game, right? I've got game over here. Don't rely on cycles, right? So there's that. And then there is also people says to me blah, 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 fractals, blah, 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 fractals, blah, 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 fractals. And it's like, I've made it perfectly clear that I will never, ever talk to anybody about fractals. Like, and if they spend their time talking about them, fair play, wasting your life. Completely fucking wasting your life. I'm not spending a second of mine wasting it like that. And I hope that's a clear message to anyone to stay away from that bollocks. I know, cool, sorry, Rest I know, got you, yeah, I did practice that the other day when I saw your message and still get it wrong. So, though I don't know who he is, he might be a lovely guy, and I think that he perhaps is, because why else would people tell me to go and talk to him, because everyone knows what I'm like. So he probably is good and nice and whatever, but on the other hand, the two things that people have mentioned about it and been like, look at this because of, I'd be like, that's exactly the reason why I wouldn't, I mean, you could have picked something else to lead with, because those are the reasons that I wouldn't fucking speak to anyone, because it couldn't be fucked. Also, I've got this other now thing where I'm like, nah, Like, I hate my value being equated with other people because it's taking the fucking piss out of me. You say I'm as good as someone else, or you should be on with somebody else, and that. I'm so fucked off with that now. Like, no matter how much I like you personally, I won't disassociate with the fact that you'd be saying that to me. Like, I'm so much fucking better. Like, what the fuck, eh? And that's not in terms of arrogance. It's like there's leagues and levels and there has to be differentiations, right? Because my value should be judged in the context of what's available and out there, eh? And it's fucking world beating, eh? Fucking world beating. And that. It's like anybody who suggested, like, oh, go do this with Tradespotting, remember, you're going to immediately evoke these feelings in me. Like, who the fuck is this? Right? Anyone in the world, you're going to make me think, who the fuck is this? Because that's who I am, eh? So, like, that's how I feel about that. And any response to that, somebody that's got an adult response I'll respect after hearing that and, like, respects me. For the fucking bottom line is that I'm the best at this shit, other than perhaps Rocky Outcrop. And if you don't know, you haven't watched me enough. And if you haven't watched me enough and you're out there doing something similar to me, then get the fuck out of my way, would be the answer. So, like, that's how I feel about anyone suggesting I do anything with anybody. That's how I feel about that. And if anyone's got a problem with that, remember, I got here despite the largest actors in this community going out of their way to slow my roll. I got here without a compromise, without one single compromise. And I deserve and have earned my past. And anybody who thinks they can come up against me, come up with me, partner with me, or even get on my fucking level, is going to have to demonstrate that they understand where I'm coming from. And that's the way it works with any proper partnership, right? So don't take me the wrong way, but that's the fucking answer to anyone who asks anything of me. Where did we get to on the GME shit so I can get down to the next levels? That's the daily time frame. Let's get right to the 4 hour. There's your volume. It comes in after the inflection point. This is a period of flux. It's between trend changes. Essentially, the question we're asking ourselves, us and everybody else on either side of the trade is this a reaction, this move, or is it a reversal? We, as doomslayers, buy at support, so we don't give a fuck because support is way down here, and the inflection point way up here. We're laughing already, and we'll do it all again, this time next week, whatever the fuck, every week from now until there are no such things as weeks. We'll be doing it. I'm fucked off, and it's just generally speaking, like, don't give a flying fuck what anyone's opinion of anything is. And on that note, after this stream finishes, which will be at market close, I'll be up the road, leaving here, heading straight to Rockies to do episode 2 in our free class on how to improve your trading strategies with harmonics, because we're actually out here trying to change your lives and try to change the world. And it's difficult to do that. It is difficult to do that when you're in a room full of 1 billion screaming people. It's very difficult for you to differentiate where you should spend your time. It is. And I try to make it as clear as fucking possible. And I do a fucking fantastic job of it, right? So anyway, I don't need to fucking talk about it. So for a 4 hour time frame, you're looking at this, you're thinking, well, what's different, what's to learn? Well, on top of everything else, you've got the 4 hour support and resistance, which is confluent with everything we talked about before. You've got the nature of price action beforehand as some sort of indicative of what would be within the expectations of reality. You have a similar angular trend starting here. At that point, you had a positive splay in all your moving averages. This point, you don't. So retests of them may be possible and would be distinguished from this move in that it didn't test any of them from its low to its high. And so if we are to take this and say, is it similar? You could just be a fractal fanny, right? Or instead, you can do real technical analysis, for fuck's sake. And 4-hour time frame, support and resistance is relevant. You've got more representation of this trend change here. Does it look like a reversal, or is it a reaction just simply to touching this level of support and having put in a double bottom at the time and the divergence and whatnot, and the move taking us up to the 886 would be within the would be like totally within reason. Just because there's so many fibs on, you might not be able to see what's going on. I'll take that from that high, take it down to our most recent low, and show you where that 886 is in around 314. So, you know, in terms of a perfectly natural resonance that you might expect to experience due to the previous nature of price action, you could say that while there may be other considerations to take into account, a profitable trading strategy on the long side of things would have already considered these aspects of the move, and that speaks to large institutional accounts. And if you watch along here, you'll realize that not only is this incredible technical analysis, there's also fantastic delivery of an incredibly important message with regards to the psychology of large accounts. And on top of that, it's all delivered with somebody who's experienced. So, you know, I bear in mind, right, that I've never taken a penny to go on somebody else's YouTube channel, and would never either take a penny nor pay a penny to have anybody come on here. That would be fucking ridiculous. That would be fucking ridiculous. That even a suggestion, right? It makes me want to, again, throw up inside my own head. And there's only so much room in there, right? Because I've got a huge fuck off brain. No ruckus, Daniel Weiss. You are the best, I'll not ask again. You can ask, no problem. This is the thing. I'm saying, like, I overcome mountains like that to get anywhere, and so anyone who wants to join me at the top of a mountain, like, you come up and you're welcome, eh? Like, certainly, like, that's certainly what I mean. And, like, that's where I aim to get all of you. You know, that's where I aim to get anyone, even the casual viewer. You know, so even if you're just stopping in briefly now for the first time, or, and you know, if you've seen me a number of times, but you're just here now, thanks. I appreciate you so much. Thanks. And I don't think with my reaction to and disdain for a general environment, does that mean that I mean anything specific about any specific person, nor think that you're next in line for a bollocking from me. That's not the way it works. That's not how I feel. I'm your ally, right? And I'm on your side. And what I'm talking about is, this is the testudo, right? And you got a fucking shield, I've got mine. Mine's not actually a shield, it's a massive sword, right? And that's the way we operate, right? It's actually, I'll just do all of the stabbing, right? You guys have got the shields. I don't know where I'm going with this analogy. I lost myself like a minute ago. And while I like that word, I don't know. Testudo. Tradespotting. What am I even talking about? Yeah, I was getting back to ameliorating my previous overreaction to a perfectly reasonable question of, would I do collaboration with your boy? And long answer is that. Short answer is, yeah, definitely would do, mate. I'd do it with anyone. But I'd have to see some reason for the value that it would be providing to you guys, because I've also got like a busy schedule of doing all the stuff I do at the minute, plus more other things. Plus I've got like other responsibilities in life. Tradespotting PFV was requested. That certainly was. Time at the minute, I've wasted a lot of time. 4 minutes till power hour, and I've only got down to the 4 hour. Yeah, so you'll get a positive cross here between your 50 and your 200 period moving average should prices persist above them. That's the way it works. And at that point, the 50 will maybe add to the positive momentum that you see in terms of RSI. It says you see increasing on the MACD, get a little swishy swashy in around here if that crosses. Perhaps it does, perhaps it doesn't. One divergent lower high, lower mount, trend change, different. See what that looks like here. Trend change. It's a different kind of pattern altogether with this lower resistance, this one higher. So characteristics there are different also with easels. Higher lows and that quite uniform pattern, that sort of thing. Don't expect you to break out that bullish control zone anytime soon either, at least until you've tried another high up and around these levels. If that breaks this horizontal prices once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. This most recent time was the only time that price action got here since the start of the year. Since the RSI got here, when price action wasn't knocking on the top level of resistance. And that speaks again to the potential momentum in this move should it continue on. And then again to the importance of this section of this entire period of consolidation, this entire period. Everything here, this entire period, which probably encompasses like 99% of people who's watching purchases or interest in GME. The important inflection point is coming now. At the midpoint from this high to this low, having tested the highs and the lows and made each of them equally significant, having extended this trend, and having reached this inflection point at this moment, it's very, very important. Of course, there's other areas before you reach the ultimate top of this channel, this parallel channel that we're in. If you do it now, as it looks to be doing, it will represent an ascending triangle, and the move off the back of that will be crazy. Right, drop down in 30 minutes. No, let's quickly go an hour because we've been doing so well in this. Our own linear progression, as if it is linear. So you've got that, yes, there's your bull flag, you're also a pennant, you're also, parallel channel, perhaps not, perhaps it's a equilateral triangle. Anyway, your 50 period moving average is coming in, you've got a positive splay across all of them, looks very, very well, very, very good, very, very lovely. You're above your previous level of support, this bullish, sitting right up there at the top of resistance, so you might expect to find it based on this area, this liquidity zone, when you get above this top level here that we've marked out with these orange lines, which is based on Fibonacci's and horizontals and other areas of interest. You can see previously when price action got above there wasn't all that much trading being done, and it's true also here. Very infrequently did price action make it above certain parts in this area, so there will be low liquidity there, and that comes in at around the 220, 225. So breaking above that, it's important. Also, as I say, could go quite far beyond it quite quickly. So if you are on the wrong side of the trend and it does go there, then you could be screwed. And most people are wrong most often, so bear that in mind. Look at these huge donations. Jeeps. Could we take a look at Sense? Jackson Hole! Answer the question, Jamie. Okay, will do. How to be a doomslayer. 1, watch. 2, like. 3, comment. 4, don't be a fanny. These are all very important rules. Just paying for a grin here, please. Now, thank you. Or you want me to make you grin. You made me happy, so I grinned. I'll give you one at some point. What guy are you guys talking about? I can't know what guy it is for sure. I don't want anything, just saying hi. Hi, Kim. Thanks for all you do, Jimmy. You're welcome. Pop collar and angry rant says dollars. 2 idiots go sailing. Sounds like a good movie or book. Maybe book. Thanks. $5. Cheers very much. Sorry for causing a ruckus. You're the best. Still not asking. It was from Daniel. Daniel Lees. Hi, Daniel. You can ask anything anytime you like. No problem. SDK 100. I don't know how many of these SDKs are worth. Somebody donated shitloads a while ago of SDKs. Thanks so much, Daniel. How's everything up into a sexy, exy land? It turned out I was looking at my demographic of the people who view the channel. I can't remember what it is exactly. But it's like America's top and then Britain second. and then it's either like Sweden or Germany is next. I thought it was strange, but that's interesting. There are so many people that own GME in Sweden. Be interesting for people in America to understand that kind of thing. You know, I imagine so many people from Europe and different places around watch me because I'm from there. Perhaps it makes me slightly easier to identify with. Maybe they're similar to me more. I don't know. I'm not going to speak to that. But I can say that it's interesting that so many people from Sweden clearly own GME and are apes and tune into this kind of content. Interesting. Interesting. If you live in America and don't really think about like the size of the movement all that often, it's interesting. I think it's interesting. So shout out Sweden in Germany. The measure of greatness is based upon the way that people in need are treated. You give us knowledge and ensure we understand the value, as Tony the Tiger said. A rower. As Tony the Tiger said, I'm a big gay lion. It wasn't though, he was a tiger. Tiger can't change its stripes. All the jokes. You can't stop me from stabbing, and I don't use no shields. Practicing my stabbing. Stabbing. Don't do tea on signs or boo-boo. Just people trying to cheat on their Discord homework, fannies. Aha! You trying to cheat on your Discord homework? Whoa, look, big donation from D. I think that answers the question. And here we go. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Look at that. 500 SDKs. Holy crap. That was 500 SDKs. The measure of greatness is based upon the way people in need are treated. You give us knowledge and ensure we understand the value, as Tony the Tiger said. Great. That was a great message from Generation 8. Thank you very much, Generation 8, for the donation. It's appreciated. Yes. You can't really judge people and they treat people better off than them, can you? It seems like... Yeah, that's how people who are better off want you to treat them. Like, well, treat me better because I've got more money. It's like, well, why? You know, that, like... You know, that's a bit arse about face, isn't it? You wanker. Generation 8 with the best message of the day, perhaps. D. Mark Harker with that important message to remind me not to do TA on these things. Well, we're in power hour now, surely, are we? Surely, goodness, we are. There, 5 minutes, isn't it? Oh my goodness. So there's the extensions on this move slightly clearer. That's another benefit of being down on the 1 hour. I say clearer, I've not really stretched them out in this perspective either. Get a bit more of it both on the go. Have you broken out of this formation? Looks like so, and you've written that retest and you think about it as something parallel, perhaps not, and so let's do it like that and say, yep, is it like an upwards sloping channel? Is it more this sort of thing where you're like, oops a daisy, whoops a daisy. Yes, pardon me. No problem, sir. Carry on. So, yes, is it this? Is it nice little ascending triangle, which it entered on a very bullish move, which is the measured move from it would be the full extension of the measured move from our accumulating wedge. Well, let's look at this and say, no, likely not. We use logarithmic charts, but it would be one way on step on along the way. We'll change that to a normal trend line. You know, and it may well be that you, in fact, take this up a level. Oops, a daisy. Well, we'll go with what we've got because, you know, despite not being in reasonable land, we can have rational conversations with ourselves. Can I please have it? Cool, got it. Awesome, that's really good. Yeah, so it does actually then. So your measured move off this ascending triangle from your low to high as you enter it makes the measured move with regards to speaking about the resonance in the market up to around 141, 168 to be entirely rational way to look at things. And a move that would take you above your previous level of resistance to the next one, which would be up around here, yeah, with that body candle from a breakdown. So just from one zone to the next, that's also confluent with that. And then, as we said, we were going to see if that was the full extension from this bullish wedge, and see that's the low in around here, and that's the high in around here. And let's see where we drop that down. So retest, or is it about here? Came in. And highs, no, if it gets its full extent there, even above the 1618, it'd be up to your previous golden pocket, and certainly above the 618, that would be fantastic. You know, that's a full extension on this breakout from this bullish accumulating wedge that we went through previously. Should we be seeing, even like before, we could even confirm that we'd just entered and said a trend change, would be to see moves in prices up and around 247, 250 bucks, 249 spot change, 249 and change. That would mean that you still couldn't say that you'd broken structure, should that be to the downside, but you would have defeated so much of the bearish trades that it would be a whole different picture, and you'd have to do a weather check at that point, of course. But a lot of things speaking to a move to there. There's just a retracement to the 618 on our highs from the 340s down to our lows, you know, the 10th of June or whatever it was. Price action went from then, that period of lower highs to lower lows, into the first week of August. That Fibonacci is quite interesting. If you remember where that was when we look back at these other Fibonaccis, well, there were Fibonaccis that come off these retracements on these moves up and these moves down, moves, and moves. You'll remember that these areas, and you'll know, like, they're confluent with very important 236s. So opening and closing above there is a completely different story, you know, shit could go fucking crazy. So that's what I'm getting. Which structure are you talking about breaking? Market structure with regards to higher highs and lower highs, with regards to support and resistance, and then applying it to specific time frames, and then having gone through the highers to the lower ones, I've been able to define those are much more important, and those which are more relevant on lower time frames, and then again those which are all confluent with each other. So by this stage, when I'm talking about market structure with reference to those underpinnings, it's just the nature of price action and what the charts tell me. So that's what I'm saying. Market structure is like mostly to do with support and resistance. So like the concepts of how you'd get them, the hard and fast ones, and then the softer understandings of it. So market structure is like, you can say higher lows and lower highs, or lower highs, lower lows, or neither, and it's a period of consolidation. You know, when you talk about behavior, structure, character, and you measure it in terms of momentum, volatility, volume, trend. You know, all the things I do all the times, yo. Tune in to the free class on the introduction to harmonics with Rocky Outcrop, which will start on market close. Well, it won't be. You'll have to get in soon because the room only accommodates 50 people or something, so not everybody can get in and watch it. You have to be a member of Rocky's Discord, obviously, which is nearly free. Like I keep telling him, make it fucking 50 quid a month, but he won't. And hardly anybody that's in it's actually paid, you know. It's not like he's raking in shitloads of money or anything like that. That's not his objective, though. It's to get people who are seriously interested. And there is people out there who are like try to slow his roll. So this is a good way of meaning the efforts that he does, while not perhaps as effective as they might otherwise have been, are still more than they would be without some form of framework and approach to the way he does things. So respect for Rocky there. Anyway, that's why I'm there, and that's what I'll keep doing. More power to Rocky and what he's trying to do. It's amazing. It's more the same thing as what Generation 8 was saying before. It's like, how do you treat people that are like less well off than yourself? Well, it's like give them everything you can. Hey, give them everything you can, and like hope they do the same. Change the world. what were we talking about here? We were down on the lower time frames. On hourly time frame, we've made it down to, we're talking about these Fibonacci retracements, we're talking about the likelihood and then what that meant in the past. Cool. So down at 30 minutes, see there you've got a positive reflection on momentum here, you've got positive signs and strength on that, and then you're winning in terms of this. Great, update. Let's go down to the 15 minutes. Cover all these things more retail busy ape section, not all that long from now. Got Rick and Morty lips, got a period of flux here. The lower price actions at this point has come alongside a potential flip in the DI positive and DI minus, though that's not important. It's interesting what they do at the time. And we can see the ADX as well at the same time pointing down, so it's like negating many of those things that you might use in terms of taking it for the weight of anything you get from this is reduced, but at the same time it has gone through something that was a night out. Well, it could collapse then as this stops, or we'll see. Not getting enough of that. Early. Strength of trend has arrested the development of the strength of the trend. We want to see that break above its own extremes, recent extremes. Anyway, this is a small enough time frame to say, what are you looking at here? Draw a line through that and say it's pretty obvious, like looking at something like that there. There's your ADX, you could draw channels and stuff, you could do all sorts of different patterns, some of which would work, others would make you look silly. So that's that, what we're going to do also. There's GME. You like that? You like GME? You like Tradespotting? You like that? Whoa! I should do the quick TA on everything people paid for. It's not fair to just not do it just because you paid me to make a joke TA, is it? Though I was saying the other day, you look very like the old Dougary Scott there. We Dougary Scott face on you, so you do. Do you know? Why are you going diddle-ding? It looks like my stream ended. Oh well, I guess the stream's completely broken. Oh well, what a shame. Well, I guess I'll just continue on as I would if you weren't here, which you aren't because the stream broke, which is a shame, but shit happens. Make sure you hit like on that old stream there before you leave, which if you better not do, but if you did because the stream stopped, that might be what you're doing, which I'd understand, but you shouldn't do that because that'd be wrong, even though it wouldn't be, so don't do that, but that's what happens. Anyway, stuff around here. Yeah, you're still here, are you? Well, I don't see it really. I don't see it. Hardly anybody's hit the like button. I don't know if you're really even here. I don't know if it's real. Because so few people, if you are here, there's so few of you. It's hardly even talking, not making noises. Stop trolling you. What does Rocket's DMI tell you that his RSI does not? So if you delivered that in limerick form, Stefan, if I'm not mistaken, all the information on his DMI is also on his RSI. Oh, you are very, 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 very much mistaken, though all of the information on each of them is on price action and all there for you. Bum. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm getting warnings all over my YouTube. It's telling me, it's giving me warnings. Don't know why. I don't know why. It was neat the way all the technical analysis it did there was freaking fantastic. You add that to what you've seen with Rocky this morning, it's like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fucking amazing. Play some music to pimp us up. Ha! Well, I make myself a cup of tea and get ready to do the sheet. Well, I got ready to do the "You're invisible, swear down, bong time." It's true, I am invisible. Look, floating paper, woo! Floating paper, woo! Look, yeah, amazing. You see that paper floats around all the time, though. Like paper does float. Paper floaty, paper floaty. And then look, here's a floaty pen. Shut up, man. Yeah, so what else we do? People wanted to do things I should do me. Swear down, man. Bum 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 bum. You know, there's huge differences in what you can do them with and what they'll give you confirmation of or deny. Ding dong, bing bong. Ding dang. Bing bang. I don't get what's happening. You don't. Well, there's this huge fuck off massive elephant in the room, right? It's called GME. And there's this small room, right? And there's billions of people in it all screaming. And there's like a small, tiny fraction of them who've got what you didn't realise. What they've been doing is for years they've been pouring petrol over everybody. And now they're stood there and they've got these matches and they're like, well, you better give me more of that petrol or, you know, I'll fuck everything up. And what we're like is like, well, cool, you. Come here and let me rub my body against yours. Let me lather you in this sauce, this flammable sauce. Let me lather myself against you. That's what we're asking, Katie. And they're like, no, stop, please, no. And we're like, no, more. That's what's happening. The only thing that can prevent a Tradespotting MOAS stream is MOAS, Solar Flare, or Impa. No Impa's gonna. You think I'm gonna? If you met me, how would I let an Impa fight me? No Impa's. Jokes. Yeah, you're right. It would be pretty difficult. That I'd need to get some sort of. I mean, it's like not even me. Even if I had some sort of Faraday cage and it was in some sort of bunker and I had everything hardwired, then still. They just take out the satellites. Like, they'll not let me get away with this for long. I can't. How could they? How could they, with the virility of this message? How could they? There's Cecilia. If it happens, it kind of proves every conspiracy theory in the world wrong in one foul stroke that someone like me could do what it appears like I'm actually being effective in doing. That's fucking never going to last. The fuck? Puts on video quality. See, this is the things. It's telling me that I'm getting the warnings. It's because I'm just a poor boy with some porridge. I'm just a poor boy. Please, can I have some porridge? Please, samosa? Samosa? PFE. Oh, somebody asked about that. I should do something before the stream does break. I've only got that little bit of time left. What is that little bit of time? It's 40 minutes. It's quite a bit of time. I was going to put kettle on though for part of it. Yeah. PFE should be on my list here. Would be in and around the other P's, wouldn't it? Try to set myself up for a joke, but because I can't find it, I can't deliver the punchline. So I'll have to type it in now. So the time has gone. Well, there's a nice early trend check. Huge divergence, Blanc, obvious, Blanc, into the bearish control zone, Blanc on our touching there. Let's go back up, right? I know I've looked at this, so the fact that I don't have any drawings on it, it's like because I'm a fucking idiot, obviously. Yeah, like, because it can't be that difficult to get your drawings to stick on things. Like, can't be. How do I keep deleting it? Because I'm an idiot. Like, I feel like I must like work. That's what it must be. It must be a total fucking idiot, right? So, we also got all these other areas. Yeah. It's just a reaction to it having got so high, right? That's all it is. Momentum there in an uptrend, loads of hidden bullish divergence. If it turns around, would it turn around? Likely in around that 236 area there, it starts doing it, would be a good entry. If it doesn't hold there, it's also breaking the 50 period moving average on the daily time frame. What, without even trying to put in, like, on its first put in a high and never even at least tried it again or bounced or whatever. It's like, nah, there's a coming entry on this. The best one, I don't know, it's up to you how you look at things. The other Fibonacci's you could draw in there and might give you more confidence. Let's start with the there's 382 there as well. 236, 382. 50 period moving average. Your previous horizontal resistance now be support. So obvious bounce there. It's obvious. 4 hour. But already bounced, right? There's a 50 period moving average there. Mate, I would. You get more chocolate on your biscuit if it drops to the 236. Even more again if it goes to the 382 of the other Fibonacci. Like in the next levels, you're catching these real important moving averages. Like, so you've got easily definable risk zones. Then drop down to early time frame. Like you can see. This does sometimes drop below that 200 period. But once you've gone above it, a test of it, boom, test of it, boom. Okay, similar in terms of divergence and previous high and then period of consolidation and then accumulation down here. Different pattern. More of this was distribution. Fuckers did well with that. And then boom. So it's just a question of when it does its next bounce. It's in a real strong uptrend. It comes in soon. In the early time frame, people already take your trade, but people like to screw you on this kind of thing. 4 hour, you're below the 50 period moving average, and more or less it's in the same place as the early would be. Your other boy, more or less down here. No, it isn't the same place at all. And your 236 and your 382, that's what I'd be looking to, because you are kind of like, why not like screw people a little bit at least? It's even further down there, you could even get better entries on this and it would still be a really strong positive trend, even on smaller time frames and bigger ones. And maybe it does put in some sort of proper test down there, and if it does, like, I wouldn't expect it to go beyond 618, and 618 on this would be the absolute beautiful trade. Would be beautiful if you could get an entry there. May stop at this 382 though. Do you think you could get that? 39.69. That'd be nice, right? Somewhere like that. 39.69 is what I'd like to see it at. Easily take a stop. Below 382 over there's that way. 6.5 to golden pocket, and your 200 period moving average plus. You've got all your horizontal support and resistance over here, right? You get a real skinny stop loss on that if you wanted. Or you could just take it down there below the 50% level, and that's giving you loads and loads of reasons for like good to risk management. And then your top side on this, well, you'd be looking at a continuation of the trend, perhaps something like, say it got there right now. This is like if you take this trade and it works out, I want you personally to buy me the Vesta board so that everybody can enjoy the stream better, and a Ferrari Aperta for me so that I can enjoy driving it around. Then you'd be looking at a retracement doing... Not that you should do that ever with anything I say, because it's not financial advice. This is fucking madness. Madness. So say it comes down there, you get that entry, and let's say it goes all the way. It's only really... You don't want it going beyond the 618 there at that point. Let's say it only goes as far as there, and you just get in, and it goes up. And you'll be looking at taking it to 61.69. Oof. That'd be like 100% move on Pfizer. It'd be fucking easy. What else are we supposed to look at? You're invisible. I know I'm invisible. Hold me and tell me everything's going to be okay. Vor name, nacho name. Everything is not going to be okay. Everything's never been okay, and it'll never fucking be okay again. Any quest for okay is a waste of your time. You've got an exceptional opportunity here to have a great life. You're not going to waste it on okay, right? You're better than the pig who's rolling in shit, and that makes them happy. Adequate is not good enough, and there's nothing about right now that's adequate. Everything's not going to be okay. Everything's going to be fucking awful. We're going to make sure that that awfulness is experienced by the people who deserve to experience it for once. Everything's not okay. Not okay at all. Tradespotting. I assume you would like a green one. What are we talking about? I'll disappear in green things on the background, which is really annoying because I've got green Bing Bong t-shirt. So what are we talking about green ones? Are we talking about candles? I love the green candles. Got Enterprise at 33.92. Thought you did well at that stage. What is it now? 46.01. And if this trend just bounces and continues, you'll be laughing. This thing here says you wouldn't even go back to that level. You know, you're laughing. You could be managing this with stops though if you're way down there and you're thinking, well, if it drops below the 236, it likely does go on further on this thing. So you could have something in and around there, like a stop would maybe be up at 43 now, and then if it did drop down, you'd be able to re-enter. If not at the 382, where you take something, maybe take a tiny bit more, it might be then further down, where I put this entry at. You get 618 here, which, you know, whatever, it's not financial advice. I'm not sure which would produce better diamonds, either my grip or to hold shares of GME or Valid Sphincter after SEC pulls payment for order flow. Dum 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 bum 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 bum. Poor Vlad. Well, he knows what he's doing. He cashed in shit loads of his shares already. He's smart to have got the shit and hell out of that as much as he did when he could. Like, if you like Root, what's it called? Robin Root or whatever it is. I hate to even say it. If you like that, right, you might also enjoy just like setting your pants on fire, sort of thing. So that sort of activity. I'd equate the two very much. A friend is 2K by GME or AMC or a bit of both. Asking me, GME. I just ate like 30 dried apricots. Oof, that's a lot of dried apricots. You're going to be pooing ploppily. They loves the onomatopoeia of ploppily. Natural friend. Jummy. Toodles, observe thyself. Where's observe thyself? She's Milady will observe thyself as a legend. She's brilliant. Don't add water. They might swell up. Jeez. I don't think it's that bad compared to overdosing on other fruits like cherries and whatnot. Don't add water. Don't do it. Right, and I hope they're the ones that were cleaned properly and not the sulfur and whatnot, because these better for you. Well, and fresh apricots don't taste as nice though. But tough luck at the Sarah rest. I know that sounds like entire bag box. It does. Sounds like 2 bags maybe. Why do they call it urine when you're out? Huh? I don't know. Good question. Though not many people do call it that. Don't add water. Oh my god. What are we covering here? I'm getting us distracted. I was going to have that cup of tea. It'd be more on point right now if I'd done that already, and any of you guys would be more satisfied, despite the fact that at the time we would have found it difficult. Just a brief moment, but overall we've been fine. What did this do? Bounce so far. Yeah, no one asked about that. So, somebody did ask about other things. What were they? Somebody just asked about AHT. It was Badman Majama. Where's AHT? Let's look at that. I remember that much. There's AMC. We could look at that just after. AHT. Where the fuck is it? Hannah. There we are. Up 6.35% so far today. Sheesh, that was a nice little trade so far, wasn't it? In there, got that. Nice. This is this channel you'd have to be wary of because prices, we talked about this at the time where you might want to be managing your risk on this trade. There's tuck profit zones and people will have used them, and this is where we anticipated the first one being in and around here. You want to see this make it up to the 236. Also is the potentially a move out of this bullish accumulating wedge itself is the divergent second low, comes at historic lows. It seems if you look at the value of this thing, it adds up to significantly more than its debt, and that there's a huge value play on the go with this, as well as like a massive reaction move likely coming, never mind a potential reversal. So who knows? The purple burglarized the world. Did they? Why did the purple burglar burglarize the world? And I've not been burglarized by no burglar, purple or otherwise. So prices are doing well on this, and the trade itself looks good too. You're looking at the 236. I don't think that's all that crazy. I'm actually thinking like much better than that. I'm thinking this is the bottom and for this move, and it's probably coming up probably in around that 618, which is 38.85. Before there, you've got so many other reasons to take profit though. I would do all along them. One where you're already at right now. You can see it with that orange line. That was the place to take it. Again, at this slightly thicker one in at around 1770 and change, and then again up at 1939. You've got areas where you'd be picking off your total pot there. I would be, and then at 22 again, and then at the top level of this where you can be having been people without people thinking like getting angry at you for your level of success. Then you'd be thinking like, hey, maybe $28 would be really, 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 really incredibly amazing. But at that stage, you could still keep stuff on the table, follow it with stop losses, and look it up to that 618, because 38.85 does seem possible, does very much. And like I say, that's just a little bit of something. Might be this is in this area, this natural point. It could even go back down a tiny chunk more, test this, and then go back up again. You'd probably still be safe on that trade if you'd taken some profits on it already. You could be playing with house money and then watch that happen. See what happened. Like this is 279 period moving average. I know we're on the daily time frame. There's a significant up here, and that's above that golden pocket at retracement. That fills that gap as well. Doesn't break that aspect of market structure and could go on, put in a slightly higher high and continue this trend. And that itself wouldn't be breaking that type of aspect of the framework, which we say is part of that market structure. What was I thinking? Take a break and have a cup of tea and stop sitting at this angle because I've got a sore back already. Oh, man. So I hope I elephant you all very much like super good steak. I'd like something super good. He did annoying. What did I do? Who did what? He did a good job. Who did a good job of what? Sense. If you think that was someone cheating on the doodle day homework, right, okay, well, we'll do non-cheating type sense. Oh, look, it's not on my chart. I've not done it yet. And and we're saving up for a Vesta board here. So if you've never looked at it before, then and especially if it's helping you do your homework, then you're gonna have to pay. I'm sorry, sorry, but Des got to save up for a Vesta board. It's for the benefit of everybody, and it'll go like just up like no, it'll go up like that way, or just up like there on. Then I'll be able to just show that on a camera, and it'll have all the actual alerts on it, on a fucking actual split flap analog mechanism with the sounds and the whirring and the bump bump bump, and then it'll be like in a train station. What more could a Tradespotting YouTube channel do? I mean, it's like it's made for it, man. It's made for it. Hey, if I was a freaking bazillionaire, I'd get the one that Oat Foundry make. That company's amazing. That company, Oat Foundry. I think they're in like Philadelphia or somewhere. They're amazing. The stuff they do is amazing. They've got a YouTube channel too. You should look them up. If I was a millionaire, I'd get their stuff, right? If you're a millionaire, you'd probably get their stuff too. And it's just cool as, see? It's just so freaking cool. The stuff's so cool. If you're really, really rich, you might want one. I want one. I can't get one. But the Vesta boards, maybe. Anyway, what am I talking about? Yeah, I'm not helping you cheat in your homework. Sorry, unless you make me compromise my own morals. And as I've defined I do have a price, and it's that. And it's why? Because it'll facilitate more people engaging with this stream, and this stream's all about GME, and that's where it's going. You know, not like I'm just fucking. I don't like. You know, what am I talking about? I can't remember exactly. 10 cows didn't eat chickens. Sarah, you answering the question? I was going to answer that question. 20 minutes left and no options covering from Friday still. What if I need a wrinkle trace button? Are you talking about how we're so far above Max Payne? Yeah, but it's only Tuesday. Dan Ernest, I'm in the Chicago suburbs, Midwest fam. What's good? Yo, what's up, Chicago? The good half. The good half. The Windy City, is that what Chicago is? Is that what it is? I don't know if it is or not. Isn't there interesting the way that you get like wind from skyscrapers that are aligned in certain ways, and how it increases the velocity of the wind at street level and that? In the first place they noticed this phenomenon was on the first place they built skyscrapers on the Royal Mile in Edinburgh. Isn't that interesting? They were the first skyscrapers in the world. Yes. That's definitely not what today's show is about. Do sense for the greatest name ever. Also, it was your first super chat today. You're making me do it now. I'd nearly managed to get out of that. I'd provided a whole fucking rationale and everything. Sense. Right, so this is how it goes through ARCA, right? Right, so, you know, I mean, you can't be all that against payment for order flow. See, I've got much of a choice with regards to this thing. Very good, yeah. I like it. Well, I mean, if it opens and closes a daily above 580, then it probably goes to like $19, maybe even $34. It's at the top of formation. It's tested the resistance, come down to the center line, caught a not significant moving average. 200's now within formation. It's also a 618 retrace of this. You've hit the 886 of the other thing. You see, you put in perhaps some sort of level here. Drop down 4 hour. Manage to catch yourself within the bullish control zone. This is important. If you persist here for a while and start orientating upwards again, that would mean that price action never really dropped back within this channel formation, or you might like also be saying it's more like this. I don't think that is like that. It's like maybe it's more like that. You came down, you accumulated here, and plus 200 period moving average at the same time on this timeline. Yeah, okay. For 1 hour. See how it goes. This looks like a good test. If this is your demand line, as it appears like it may well be, you have managed to arrest any fall of this around the center line and now recover its own exponential moving average, or its own moving average on the early time frame as the MACD struggles to turn around, which is what you'd expect to see it would have to do after the end of a bullish move that took you above resistance. It's about breaking this level here, 450. Open and closed dailies above there is interesting. Open and closed dailies above. What did we say this was? Why is that not accurate? Ew. Don't know if I changed the bottom when I did that. If not, right, you've got your 886 there. Let me check this. If you've opened and closed with your 886, what did that Fibonacci? Where's the bottom of it? Get on the chart properly. How did I manage that? It's not that 886 inch, still below it, yeah, still below it, touching it here again. Why is that line there? Is it from something else? Because it wasn't accurately drawn before. Anyway, well, it makes it even more interesting. Like, it's about this level here. It's about breaking open and closing dailies above where we are. At the minute, you're still talking fake outs. And, like, I'd look at this and say, well, how much you're really missing off a percentage move from 4 to 5? Well, you know exactly. It's really easy. It's about after that, how much is on the move from then, I suppose. 1414 up to 19. 1750. 30. This is positive. That's interesting test. I mean, you can add to all of your own homework if you're doing it. If not, congratulations that you've managed to avoid the homework, but you should actually be doing that sort of thing. You will learn lots, and if other people are doing it along with you, it's a really good opportunity to learn. So my thoughts are, you'd like to see this do more than it's done at the minute. The trade to take on this one was back when it was down here. You know, you had confirmation of that in the center of this formation when your RSI returned to those sort of opportunity levels. It's now like taking that opportunity away by having put in this sort of test on the RSI at the top of that bullish control zone, then fallen below it, but then it has accumulated at the center line, and you are above this area of resistance on the hourly. Don't know, like, because on the 4 hour, you know, it's not above this previous level of resistance, and that it's not like GME where you're like, oh my god, my god, my god. It's more like, 886 here. Easily that could be the full extension of this thing, continue the downtrend, which point you'd be like, it could be horrible. Could be horrible. Either it goes up and keeps on going and it breaks its previous high, or something awful's coming for this potentially. We'll see what happens. But, could that really happen? Could it get down to being less than 10 cents again? Yeah, could do. Could do. If it doesn't go on up to $17 and then $30. Right, what else did I miss? Yeah, funny. Thanks, D. I know I ruined it for everyone. Yo, no, there's plenty. If you're just saying the thing I said in your homework, you're not going to get any points, are you? For AMD, would you consider the gap from the morning of August the 27th possibly one waiting to be filled? What is roughly a minimum time frame do you look at in order for a gap to be filled? AMD, yeah, it'll likely fill its gap. There's a huge movement coming on AMD if you want to know more about that. Rocky's your man. There's a huge movement coming on AMD. The gap's the least of your worries. That's a huge donation, though. I should look at it. Hi, Brian. How are you doing? AMD. 4 hour on the 4 hour here. Gaps on the 4 hours, like a question, depends on the strength of the trend that you're in, as to whether or not it's interesting or not, the 4 hour gaps. Is it a 4 hour gap? What was it you say there, Brian? No, gap from the morning, so daily on August 27th. So on the daily 27th, August 27th. Can't be that hard, Jimmy, it's just there. Oh, it's just right there. It's like right, actually right there. This is a daily time frame. Where is the gap, Brian? Where is it? The 27th. There seems to be no gap on daily. In the morning, was there a gap? 4 hours, filled that with a wick. Came back, filled it. There's the gap you're talking about here. This is on the 30th. It's kind of, say that's filled. On a 1 hour, the gap here, it's filled it with that wick. And then subsequently, is it this gap here? There is a gap on hourly. But it's minuscule, if at all even really there, because there are wicks since and previous to it. Is this the gap you're talking about here? Don't know. That's not on the 27th. Oh, it is the 27th. We've got that wick from this wick. That is a gap, yeah. And we're on a 1 hour, so let's go back up and see what was. How did I not see that before? This hour, this one. This is not the time frame that it happened on. It's somewhere else, Jimmy. It's up here. See this way. No gap on the 4 hour. So there's nothing, there isn't one anywhere, and I don't then, therefore, no, it's not significant. That's my best answer, unless I'm confused. Dunk Motion, how's it going, mate? It's because you make our planet a better place. Next, the moon. Yo, thanks. Which camera am I at? Here, thanks. Dunk Motion, cheers. Don't tell me I can't find Rolling Inches fabulous. Yeah, no, it's cool, it's perfectly happable. To be content is fine. If that's your station, that's cool. Don't tell don't tell me I can't find right. Okay, HT, we covered that one. Okay, that's cool. What time is it? It's 8 minutes. Market close. Busy apes coming up. I have to take a break for 5 minutes. Have a cup of tea though. I have to. My head's wrecked for some reason. Uh, 15 minutes. What does this look like? Looks like it's rolling over. Bad news. Bad news. What was we wanting? AMC as well. I didn't cover it much yet. 46.68. Go on, you boy. Go on, you boy. It's up 7.71% today. Here's this low. When people talk about 46 something, I was saying daily 47 something. It's actually what I've put a little bit more. I mean, sure, yeah, but no, it's not 40. It's 47. It's 40. It's 47. Why is this 886 and that there? It's the 886 is above there. It's 47.25. That's where it needs to be. It's 47.25. Whoever that's going to be. AMC. Is it going to do it? 46.74 was interesting too. So doing it up here is great. But it's because of all this stuff. But actually, since then, no, we did these body closes. Doji, bearish engulfing, recovery, bullish engulfing. 886. See if it goes through the 886. Like, get the fuck out of the way in the last few minutes. That'd be amazing. Though I'm seeing less strength on the RSI here. I haven't seen a divergence on the previous top. You can't say that that's anything bad happening there. You are above your own moving average, though it's likely it touches the top of that bearish control zone, and then we'll see. So it's like questioning me. I'm asking now is, in the last 15 minutes, do we get a body close above 47.25? That would be epic. Body close, and then we'll see how tomorrow goes, whether or not that confirms that as good news. Matt Pickles, depends on which you think will give you the biggest percentage increase. I don't know AMC, but I can see why some folks own it. If you're asking me a question which to go in, it's like, my answer would be GME, but this can't give financial advice. Tradespotting, go to Kettle and be there in about 10 hours, I wish. Yo! Yeah. A cup of tea, I love a cup of tea, I love a cup of tea. AMC, go for it, man. So I'll leave this one on for the last few minutes. Not the last few minutes. Will I make the cup of tea? Shall I? There you go, 200 period moving average. This is not a demand or supply line. This is a measured move that we drew earlier. I'll get out of the way. So now, opening and closing above that level is important. Good. Yeah. How long's left? 15 seconds. Nah. As of the 1 minute. How many minutes is left? 5 minutes before the end of the day. See you in 5 minutes. Focus. Folks. I'll see you in 5 minutes, in a minute or 5. 5 minutes. What was I put on meantime? Well, nothing, because I'll just copyright stuff and I have to spend all the time taking it out. In the meantime, you guys can watch price action go up. That's perfectly entertaining. Hello? 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 Yes, I'm here. Right. Back in a moment, but only for a moment, because then I have to do the lesson about Rockies. Yes. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you, Jimmy? Jimmy? Jimmy, where are you? Right. What the hell is that sound? What sound? I don't know what you're talking about. Pshik. Yum, 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 yum. Sorry, so sorry. I'm awfully sorry. So let's talk about the clothes, shall we? Clothes. Are you wearing your clothes? You hope so. It's not that kind of stream. Well, I mean, I don't give a shit. You can do whatever you want, right? Start recording. That would be nifty if you would. Stop recording. Oh no, that means That means when I click start recording, it's not gonna work. Hello, welcome to the Busy Ape series. Back to the busy apes. And you too. Hello, you. You who never understands a word I fucking say. Welcome back. Yes, but the show is much more heavily based, of course, around yourself. So what we're doing, we'll start on the 1 minute time frame. We'll look at GME and we'll say, excellent close. Came up here, tested resistance, what you put in resistance. Over here it was support. Previous to that it was resistance. Significant area all round. As price is at an inflection point. It's come into this one from bullish move. Sticking within the bullish control zone. DMI you can see pushing up above 38, and seems like there's positive momentum on the MACD, though it is very skinny like that, and it lifts. Look together and feel alright. Cool, yeah. Maybe momentum then takes a pause because we're up at resistance. Like we say, it's a 1 minute time frame, also sharp. 15 minutes. Back above this potential ascending triangle. Like to see it. Nice to see you. Nice. This move in a very bullish thrust. Testing resistance, perhaps breaking it. I'd suggest that looks good for a break. When you're looking for it to actually break this 886 on an opening close on a really higher time frame than now, at least an hourly, before you take a trade off the back of it. But then that's because we don't buy at resistance. At that point it would be support, and then you could buy it. But previous to that we buy at support, which is why we buy it and get the best deals. That's why we get the best deals. What? 30 minutes? Yeah, that is good, right? Weakening negative momentum and positive momentum. Yeah, sure, whatever, right? It's normal to see retrace when you get at the top side of these things. Is it potentially something like this? Wait and see, folks. Wait and see. This 886, this area here, is important at 223, 22250, whatever it is. 226, and you're looking for a home and drive, especially on a daily time frame. We'll get there. Skipping it early. Hi, well, it's the Busy Ape series. Can't do everything all the time for everybody, all the time, forever, never. Is this actually a negative formation? No, but it does suggest that a retest of lower levels is possible around 185, your 200 period moving average. And like your previous support, that's possible, and that might happen if you fail to break above that 886 we mentioned earlier. Daily, open and close in, where were we seeing? Same levels as before, I suspect. What new information do we get on the daily? Well, your support and resistance zones up around 225, 226. This is actually more important than the ones we defined slightly lower down. See that from the daily. I'm going to the 3-day. No, we won't. Jokes. We've got the weekly time frame. We can see, yeah, we had a really good week there. Straight through all of that. It was a very illiquid zone, really. This is where the real decisions are made. Between these two zones, that's around 177. Above there, you're around 100, 200, and same area, 225, 226. Weekly is very interesting for the same reasons. Open and close above that. Boom, boom, boom. You'll have also broken this. People say that isn't real. And I say things to people far more offensive than that, so I'm hardly going to blame them, right? I'm going to give them a hard time for saying something like that. It's like, on a weekly time frame, the way. So it's real as fuck, if you ask me. Right, so that's real. This is real as fuck, and when you look at it, it's just another example of everything we were looking at before, right? It's an equilateral triangle. Technically, it could go either way, and the chances of, determining which way that'll be is up to you, and you'd manage it after breaks rather than before, and what you hope. And otherwise, then you'll be buying it all the time. In which case, you're buying it as support, and that was down here. So that's what you're thinking when you're looking at that. Let's see if it does and pays off for all your hard work for buying it earlier, and your ultimate extensions on this are fucking miles up there, and that's not a joke at all when I'm looking at that, and my mouse is where it is. Right. 1,100, 1,370. 600, 550. And before that, 333. Other numbers like 343. Really nice numbers. That's what's happening there. AMC closed at 47.13. Nice. Nice to see it up there. Though you want to break above the 886. Same deal on that Fibonacci. You want to get above that. That comes in at around 47 something. So an open daily and close above there. Right, you're right at the top of that zone at the minute. You are though inside this positive channel, and came out of this positive move, and it may be that you revert to the overall trend on the larger time frames on the weekly on this. It may well be happening. Let's see, but you have to break above that 886, and open and close on the daily above it will take you to these measured move targets right back up at your previous highs at $65 and above, and then the move on this is up at around like 97, 137. If you can break those sort of levels, then you're looking at extensions, massive extensions, like on this move alone, you're looking at it could easily shoot up, well, mid-level of this channel, another higher high, and that 1414. It's going to just over $100. That's what's happening on AMC. It's going there. It really is, like, and we'll find out whether or not that's definitely happening soon, because it's in decision period. Daily time frame, break into the bullish control zone, fantastic. Strength of trend here, picking up. That strength is to the top side. Momentum picking up on the MACD, continuation of that, what we saw, good idea. Trend change has changed. Let's see, higher high in RSI. At what point you break through these extensions at the 1618 up at like $55. 55 is the level we're looking at on the 4 hour. 55, break 55. Just below now, lower time frames, you can see flat $47, $48 target. 886, 47 and change. You want to open and close above there, and then you're looking at those other areas we talked about, looking to the downside. I don't know, you've got 50 minute, you've got 200 period moving average, you've got a period of diagonal supply that looks like it's relevant across multiple time frames. You've got what looks to be a reversal in play. You've got to see this go back above its previous resistance here and break into the bullish control zone, and that's likely to happen as price action breaks support, break resistance. So that's fucking fantastic. It won't even need to test it as support because of the nature of the low it put in, which is why trades at this area can have such a positive velocity, for such a positive effect on your account. The wave velocity, whatever, right? Some people understand me. But okay, great. So that's it, and I've got to go and do a show now, helping at Rocky's Place. So that's the Busy Ape series. I've recorded it. Hopefully it's helpful. And if it's not out tonight, it's up tomorrow morning before market opens, as always. You can always tune into it here. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. Thanks for everyone for looking at everything, staying around, hitting like and being so good to me, and all the donations and all the support. And if I've missed stuff, I'm sorry. I never mean to. And I'll see you later. You guys are all, thanks so much for putting up with my nonsense as well. Ha ha! I know not everybody does, so thanks. And if you do, you and me probably get on really well if we get on the internet, because I'd be able to listen to you better, which is also another advantage of those classes on Rocky's Discord, because I interact with people a little bit better. And anyhow, cool. See you soon, F you money, big time. See you soon. Love yous all. Love yous. Excellent. Thanks. I'm sorry I missed everything. Thanks to everybody who did anything to help me. I've got to go. Thanks. Where's the buttons? Here they are.